right. Let's get it started here. I think this is going to hiccup a lot right there. But anyway, family, hey, welcome in. Come on in and grab a seat, grab some snacks, and let's see what we have to offer to lay out our opinions, our views about Rwanda. So, hey, as you come in, let's see where you're from. We give a shout out. Michael, hey, thanks a lot. Hey, welcome everybody. Those who are in, Jay. Everybody let me know where you all coming in from. Me and my wife.
Where is Serenity?
Serenity is here, but Serenity's here, but you know, this is gonna be me and Mrs. Go Black here tonight. This is a topic I think that is us grown folk gonna be involved in. And so we just gonna be me and the missus right here. She's sitting tight over here in the corner. So Philly in the house, Westchester, gang, what's that? Gangs talking, simulation, all right. Nashville, hello, Robin, I am. Yeah. If you know better, you do better. Detroit in the house. Carissy B at ATL. Super truthful. Hi from Brooklyn, New York. Hey. Bukati from Kenya. Alrighty. Glenda Coker from Michigan. Dilly to the top. Hi, New York. Alright. Everybody's kind of interested in what we want to say. We hit 100 real quick already. We already got eyes already 100. It's only been, 2 minutes now. Big Brian, 366, North Carolina. Eva, hi from Houston. Yeah, okay. Nobody stumped me yet. I think I've been to most of all these places we have been to, most of the states. We've been to all the states here. Kenya, I saw Kenya here. All righty. Bukati, you say Bukati from Kenya. Okay, all right. Yeah, David Sparks, hi everyone. Let's see here how we go. Here we go. Let's see here. Dark Spears, UK, England, Mississippi, 4589. Mississippi in the house. Yep. All righty. Robin I am, thumbs up. Q right. Holla from Mexico. Yeah. Hi, listening from the UK. JJ. Ali S. Ali from Accra. Oh, we got Accra in the house. All right. Okay. We got African Love from Canada. All right. Africa Love living in Canada. I have to say that to a lot of Africans here that they say, where you from? Man, I'm from Africa, man. Come on, we live in, so. And it blows their mind when I say that. And then they just like, oh, yeah. Trying to create a different mentality in my travels and stuff, We are not Mzungus and we're not foreigners, we're coming back home. Hi from the Tbilisi, Georgia. David. Jeff W. Brooklyn in the house. Love you love your videos. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. Lady Gamble. Okay. Hello from St. Petersburg. Yeah, family, we're going to keep it on. We're about to get here to this topic right here about Rwanda. We've had a lot of people who are interested in Rwanda. Even my family members like, I love Rwanda, and how beautiful it is and all that right there. Audacious Queen Z. President Paul Kagame just sent troops to Central Africa. Okay, all right. I'm going to have to check that out. See what that's going on. God is merciful. Empress, yeah, with Sumi from Boston. My family and I just looked for a video. We enjoyed the workout, especially seeing you and your Empress walking hand in hand. We pray you are well in TZ. Yeah, hey, we are. We're doing very well. Matter of fact, I just got that video back up because they had blocked that video because of the music that was going on in the background. But it's back up though, so thank you. Jay from Dallas, Texas, by way of Mississippi. MISSISSIPPI. Yeah. Arnold. Nyonkuru. EO, says he. All right. Ima Ayin Ima or Ima Ayin Umuna. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right. Canyoni from Paris. Folks, we got 178 people in the house, and we're going to about get started right here. I want to give just shout out to people. As you see, we have people all over the world. We have people all over, this globe who are just coming in, and I appreciate each and every one of you all. And for those who know me, I'm Go Black. You can always refer to me Go Black. This is Mrs. Go Black, all right? She has joined us since the 9th of December, and she has put together a tour because this was her and Serenity's first visit to the motherland. And so she put together 3 countries together: Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania. And so we're going to be visiting those places, and we are going to share our thoughts, share our views and our opinions on just some observations from a masculine point of view and a feminine point of view.
We have a super chat from TZ414 from St. Paul, Minnesota to Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
We appreciate that. Let me put a disclaimer in here so that you all understand something, okay? Our view is only our opinion. And it is only, let me repeat, it is only our opinion based upon just the small few people we spoke to, only the small area that we went and visited, only the area and places that we have gone. We have not been all over Rwanda. We have not spoken to the millions of people in Rwanda. We have not seen all of Rwanda. So we want to put a disclaimer in there that just our view and how we, in our observations, in our interactions, in our visits in different places, is only our opinion. It does not represent Rwanda as a whole. Now, sad to say, we're going to have people come in right after I just said that, and they're going to think that, okay, hey. So, but we understand. But for those 217 people who are in the chat, we are going to lay out to you only our view, our observations, and our opinion. There again, I'm going to lay out this real quick, and then we're going to get into what my wife observed, what she saw, what she may have heard, and then I'm going to get into mine. But let me just say this right here, okay? So those who don't know, yes, I was in Rwanda for about a week before I joined my wife and met them in Nairobi, and then I piggybacked to Rwanda again, and we were there 5 days? 5 days. And so I say I got under my belt not even 2 weeks of Rwanda. And we want to do these views, our opinions, just because our videos show some things, our video only tells some things, and we hearing from us just our views, because I've said this from the beginning, my channel will share the good, the bad, the ugly. That is only represented based upon how you take it, not me. When I say good, bad, and the ugly, I want everybody to understand this. There are many people who tell a story in the way they just see it. There are people who see things and stay in the positive. There are people who are just negative and stay in the negative. I want to at least be one that's in the middle. Now, in saying that, I don't go searching for anything unless it's given me. And I understand, because I've been around for a minute, there is 2 sides of life. There's the up, the down, there's the good, the bad, there's the left to right. We want to call it the yin yang of life. In this life, we do understand there are 2 sides of it. If you want to say the good, the bad. But in that too, we understand that there is a balance in everything. That I'm not going to sit here and try to be negative, let alone to sit here and act like everything is positive. I just can't do that. Not on my channel, I'm not going to do that. And I'm really going to share with you those things that I point out just for me. Doesn't mean it's for you. Now, in saying that,
thank you, Shell Stewart, for your super chat.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
that.
much. Yeah.
Hopefully y'all can hear me better now. I will speak up.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of get into some of the observations when it comes to Rwanda. We did that when it came to Kenya. And so I'm going to start with my first lady, Miss Go Black. And she's about writing her notes and want to lay things out. That's how meticulous my wife is. Love it about her, because she wants to make sure that she does things in proper order and decent. And so, love, we want to go ahead and just share, start with you and your observations of, we landed in Rwanda, and you can just share whatever it is. I haven't even seen her notes. We really didn't have much discussion. A couple of discussions we did have that she pointed out to me, and then I share with her, but we're going to start with you.
And I'm going to start with the positives. Number one.
Can I say this right? Can I interject, love? Because by you saying that, you're setting us up, because these people here are going to say positives and negatives. Okay. These are just the
observations.
There's your observation. Now, the people could take it however which way they want. They want to take it, they want to say positive and negative. Observations don't have to be negative and positive. I don't look at life like that at times. I don't. It's just life. This is life. This is just what is and how it is. That's just what I'm saying. Go ahead, love. Go ahead.
Observations. Number one. Rwanda is very lush and green and beautiful, and the flowers are blooming, and there are banana trees everywhere. The landscaping is on point. It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Number two, the sidewalks and the roads are very, very clean. We saw so many people on the sides of the road sweeping and sitting on the ground with tools, picking out the weeds from in between the cracks of the bricks. It is just an area where you see everybody working so diligently to keep, we were in Kigali, to keep the city clean.
We went out to the countryside too. It's clean. It's immaculate. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even on dirt roads.
Even on dirt roads.
The food was delicious. And I am very picky when it comes to food. But the food was so good. Everywhere we went, the food was so, so good. One thing we did notice, though, I tend to like bakery items and desserts. And the sweets are not the sweet that we would think of when it comes to the States. They're less sweet and they're drier.
Which, if I like to point out too, because we're having this dialogue together, because I pointed out some things out, is that one thing that I believe that why the bakery goods, even in most African countries I've been to, that are dry, is because of the temperature. It could be the temperature that really dries out, where we use oils and butters to moisten up things, and dairy products. I think is a little different how they prepare their sweets.
Could very well be. Because every bakery that we went to, all of the baked items were drier. Not that moisture that we think about.
And I'll say this too. At a higher altitude, when I lived in Colorado, we battled with cooking, because you had to cook at a different temperature, because your food would cook either faster or slower when it's baking and cooking. Found it out to be in the altitude. So yes, I believe that has a lot to do with that. But when it comes to the sweets, and I said this to my wife, was that there's an advantage because they don't have a really strong sweet tooth. We know in America, we love the sweet tooth. The other thing we have not seen was white refined sugar.
Right.
We seen raw sugar,
yes,
which is more healthier because it got more nutrients and minerals in it, instead of extrapolating all of the nutrients out. Shout out to my man, O'Shea Duke Jackson.
O'Shea.
Thanks a lot. O'Shea Duke Jackson, for your donations. He said, good work, bro. Hey, good work to you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing out there.
Yes, Chrissy B, their sweets are much healthier, I'm sure. I'm sure. The houses, oh my word. Y'all saw on some of the videos, the houses. The attention to detail, the ironwork, the colors, absolutely amazing. Beautiful, beautiful homes. And on top of that, the views, almost anywhere that you go in Kigali, the views are beautiful. Beautiful.
I'll say this too. I did a video and y'all haven't seen it because I got to upload it. And so I was showing my wife where me and Colin was going towards the lake and everything. And we went through a place where it was more rural area. And it was, of course, you can tell on a lower scale of just people who didn't have a high means of income. But how immaculate it was when it came to their bushes they had, they had in order and sculpted. And the first thing that came to my mind was, just because you're poor don't mean you have to live in filth. And that doesn't mean that you can't decorate your little mud hut, if you want to call it that. Some people don't like when I say that. But your little mud house, your structure you built, they had painted, the door frames and the window frames. And it was like, that's what I'm talking about. Just because we may be on a lower scale of finances, don't mean that you have to live in a place of ratchetness or filthiness. And that's what really opened my eyes when it came to the houses, because where they called the areas, in Kigali, of the lower end homes, the slum areas, I still found there was still a flavor, touch of character. And that's what stood out to me.
Another observation.
Oh, somebody said let her talk. Okay. I'm trying to piggyback on it because I ain't going to remember it. All right, I know.
Appleweed, thank you very much. He says, Appleweed says, greetings, family. Thank you very much for your donation. Another observation, the people are very serious. There is a sense of professionalism and seriousness. And along with that, because they're so serious, I don't think you really get to see their personality. They're quite reserved. Before I went on this trip, I did a lot of researching other people who had gone to Rwanda, and a couple people had made note of how they stare. And that is very, very, very real. To the point where I said, you know what, I'm going to flip this around. And when I see them staring at me, I'm either going to wave or I'm going to speak. And so sometimes when I would wave, they would catch themselves and wave back. And then other times I tried saying hello. I tried saying jumbo, mambo, hello, salut, bonjour, in just about every language that I knew that they spoke. And half of them probably spoke back, and the other half still kept staring at me. So that was a little bit different to kind of get used to with the staring, because the staring is real. It is very real. And I don't know whether or not it's because we look different, we dress differently, even before we even opened our mouths, that they would know that we're from another country. You get these stares. And then I was thinking, do they stare at each other? So I don't know. But that was definitely something that was pervasive throughout our entire stay and everywhere. Snuggles668, thank you very, very much. Do you understand immigrants a little bit more when someone sees the hood and thinks, why can't they do better when they have better?
Hey, I don't know. I mean, I just made the comment on, hey, I don't know what do better mean. I don't know every man's situation. I don't know their circumstances, but I just do know that, uh, no matter what, I find that there is a sense of pride there in Rwanda. And I think that, the people that are there uh, are, trying to excel, trying to grow, trying to go forward, and from what they have come from.
And so I was saying that to say that you don't really get to see their personality. Even when we got into the airport and we're at immigration and passport, they speak very quietly. They speak so softly. So they're quiet in their speech. There's no expression to their faces. And I just wonder, will your personality at some point shine through? Or maybe it shines through with family members. That could be. Another observation was the lack of parking. So a lot of the businesses are very close to the curb. And so if there's any parking at all, it might be, kind of like pull-in parking, and then the back of your car is really close to the sidewalk, or kind of like hanging on the sidewalk. And to me, it would just be very, very difficult to, when you finish whatever you're doing in that business, to back out onto a super busy street. So that was kind of intimidating to me, the parking situation. And everywhere you go, somebody comes out of the woodwork asking for money when you're about to leave for where you parked. And it's not much, but someone always comes to your window right when you're trying to back out.
It's a parking attendant she's talking about, and they have a phone, and they'll show you that this is the cost for you parking right there, and they have how long you've been parking there. So they have parking attendants. We're talking 20, 30 cents they'll hit you up with, basically everywhere you park.
Everywhere.
That we've been, put it that way, where we've been.
And then the last observation I made was, as we were leaving the airport, arriving to our hotel, I noticed that a lot of the billboards were advertising alcohol. And that was something that, just coming from Kenya, or Nairobi, where you saw big billboards of families and people. Now you're not seeing very many billboards of people, but it was just alcohol. So that was just something that I observed, and I brought it up to my husband, like, I wonder why that is. So that's it for me. Those are my observations. Rwanda is gorgeous country, and I look forward to going back.
Yeah, so you heard it from a woman's perspective, and she kind of, didn't elaborate a lot on areas I thought she probably would go more into.
Like
but
what?
Oh, nothing in particular.
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, we have some long conversations and things, but it is what it is. I'm going to piggyback on some of the things that she had said, because we've had those conversations, and just to give maybe some clarity. But let me just say this right here, family, because I did a video and I said this right here. I don't think I deserve to live in Rwanda. And to this day, I still don't think I do. I think Rwanda is for Rwandans. Now, this is my opinion. Why do I say that, though? I told y'all when I went to, and I did not want to go to the Genocide Memorial, all right, Kigali Genocide Memorial. My wife, I know she booked it for us, and we were planning to go, and I decided to go. I know some of the stories, but I gained a lot more knowledge because it's their story told by them instead of being on the outside in. I had the privilege of speaking to one of the tour guides there. But on the other side too, I've had an opportunity to speak to some of the locals. Now y'all have to understand this right here. This work that I decided to volunteer and do, there's a lot of things I don't share because of people's privacy. There's a lot of things I don't say because of people's privacy. But I'm entertained by people's ideas or their thoughts, their views, and where they stand and believe when it comes to the country that they live in. So I can't record a lot of these things because people don't want to be recorded, but they're more open to share with me. So these are some things that when I'm saying something, I don't come out the side of my neck trying to explain that of sometimes my view or opinion. Sometimes it's based upon what I was told. Now, what I loved about the video that if you've seen the video that I did with Zaid, he is the business owner there. He was able to share some of the things that because of his employees, that he said it. He shared some of the darker sides, if you will, of how some of the Rwandans feel. Go to that video and you will be able to hear from his own mouth of what there are some people, what some people say and how they feel. I'll say this right here. Everything is not peachy cream as some may think it's may state that they are. What I mean by that, we do understand humans are humans. And we do understand that the sensitivity of the people who are living in a country that has been revived and have been brought into a place of reconciliation, not everybody's on board with that. This is what I'm told. This is what I heard. And you will hear it from other people who are going to be open and share that story. Do yourself a favor. I just watched Unapologetic Nomads video, them interviewing a sister who went through, and her one opinion and perspective of what she went through, and some of the things that you can even educate yourself on, where some, where how she perceives things to be and what she went through and gone through and all that right there. Please watch that video. It just adds more into, maybe, I believe, when you're getting all of this information, you add it all together, you put it together, and you then come up with your own. But I've always said this right here. There's nothing greater than your own experience. You have to get on the ground and experience it for yourself. Okay? Now, my wife talked about the how people's, I would say, the aura or their spirit is. I really didn't pick up on it much. I'm a talkative person, and I have a way of sometimes drawing people out of where they are to make them feel comfortable. I laugh and say, "Hey man, how you doing?" Blah 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 blah. But she did bring some attentions to, have you noticed how subdued a lot of people are? And I'm like, well, some people are like that, this and that. But when I really started paying attention, you don't have the smiles, you don't have the laughs, you don't have the open greetings. Now I'm not talking about everybody. We're talking about in our so-called place that we went. And I'm talking about not the majority of, not 100% of Rwandans. I'm talking about, for the most part, most of the people we've come across, whether it's in the hotels, whether it is doing going to the restaurants, whether it was in the airports, it was in the airplane, the stewardess and all that. Very serious, focused people. When you, right there, like my wife had alluded to, when it came to the stares, it's a stare almost like, beyond than just curiosity. Would you say that?
Yes.
Beyond than just curious. And also when I encounter the stares, I have a way I always speak back, or I do this right here, peace, or I get in the phone sign. Hey brother, hey sister, how you doing? And some would, and some won't. But the stare. And so I had to go back, and I thought about this and thought about this and thought about this, putting together the conversations I had with other people from Rwanda who's lived there and gone through the genocide, or whether it's middle age, older age, or younger age. In the interviews I've done with some of the people, I have to say this right here, and I'm gonna get to why I don't think I deserve Rwanda. The people, as our sister had said in the interview from what I watched today, the country is still fragile and sensitive, and it's growing, and it's trying to become stronger. They have visions, and they have these visions for, like I said, 2020, 2026, and 20, and it goes on. All these visions where they want to make sure that they can kind of meet with. But then also too, when you talk about fragile, think about this. I had to think about this. Anytime you come from a damaged background, there are those who still carry the pain. There are those who are able to move forward, and there are those who don't. Now, we know that there are stories that when the genocide happened, there were neighbors and people who were intermingling in marriage and playing with each other. And then all of a sudden, when this hit, your best friend was at you.
Right.
Your best friend and the families and the people you grew up with. This is the story I'm told. It became now your worst enemy. This is what I'm told. To where now, where I'm saying, okay, we got to understand this. It's like you go through a traumatic experience, whether through a car wreck, whether you was violated as a person, and you are standoffish and you're unsure of the whether it was a car accident, you get in your car and it was hit by a semi truck or what have you, you get sketchy when you enter this semi truck, or if you was violated as a woman and was, from a man, and you are standoffish because you are unsure. I had the feeling, because of the distrust, when you had rapports, and we know our parents tell us, even us African Americans, we still live in our slavery. We still feeling pains from the European. We still bringing up the past. We still have a lot of this harboring within our families, within our generations, within the Black community, of still bringing up slavery in the when we gonna get past that? So I had to think about this, and I'm like, whoa, think about it. How much trust is there, and who can you really trust when trust was crossed back then during that time? Because you can't just open up and be like, yeah, we besties friends forever now, when you're like, hold up, I still have a memory. My mama, daddy told me about what happened, my this and that. And let me tell you this right here. I never asked anybody about the genocide, and I won't. Too sensitive a subject. Why? Because it's like asking a woman if she's been violated by somebody, and you want to keep asking that question over and over. Or a man. Or bringing up old past that the wound's trying to heal, and you keep ripping the scab off. This is my thinking. And I see that, and I ask the questions, are those people coming and returning back to Rwanda, those who fled and left and all that right there? And the answer was yes. And my thing is, how can I be in the way of people who's trying to reconcile, who's still trying to deal with the hurt and pains, that there's still a constant memory. They do a 100-day celebration each year. And still, I was told by a young lady and a young man, they have not forgiven. I have heard, and those who have left the country, who are over there, who still have harboring ill wills, that don't want to come back to Rwanda because of the past pains, who are raising their kids and saying things, whatever, or still got family over in Rwanda and still bad mouthing. This is the pot still. This is just me now. This is my observation. Still brewing. And I have to ask the question, what happens when the great president, Paul Kagame, who I still say can help out Black America and bring them into a reconciliation? All that he has done has been great, beautiful. A people living together, a people who now are intermingling and marrying and all that, trying to get back to where they used to be. But we do know that there are people who still have an unforgiving heart. Y'all know, come on. We know we hold on to grudges and things. Like I said, slavery. People ain't forgiving the Europeans for what they did. And I've ran across some good white people in the sense of being friendly and all that right there, but I still have this out because of their history and what they've done and still continue to do. I'm just being real with y'all. I'm sharing what I've been told. I'm sharing what's been observed. And so my thing is that I believe, just for me, Rwanda is a great place for everybody to visit. Please go visit. I believe it is an example for you if you are harboring issues and you need to get past things in life and all that. You can learn from how a people have reconciled with each other. But I do believe, for me, how can I go purchase land and houses and all? And yes, I can bring jobs to the people, you know, but still feel comfortable sitting on somebody's land that was taken and coming back, and they can see that you have built on their property and they lost all. Now they have nothing because they had to flee, and coming back and to be able to see that that was my mama, daddy, great granddaddy's house and been down our family for all these years. And now who is this joker sitting here? I think about stuff like that. Why? Because I know how I would feel. Y'all know we talk about the 40 acres and a mule. You know, we talk about, so this is what I'm thinking about. If I feel this way in America, are they thinking this way too? It's just being real. I'm going to be real with it, because I know in America, we still want our 40 acres, our 100 acres, our 1,000 acres. We still feel like we have old reparations. We still feel like that we deserve more. We still believe we need the opportunity. And I know that crossed a lot of people who've been violated minds. But the aura, the spirit is a little subdued. And when so me and my wife, I started becoming, because my wife shared with me, I said, let me observe a little bit, because I can sometimes, like I said, that's what we need our spouses for, especially if they have the opposite energy that you have. They see things totally different than I see, and I see different than what she sees. And so I had to lean on and stop, become the watcher, observe and listen. And I'm like, I do see it. I never really paid attention to it. And then when I'm going back into my past of when I first time was here, I'm like, yeah, I mean, everything is very subtle and, you know, but then we took note when we got here to Tanzania. How was it in the airport? What were we saying?
The immigration folks were very cordial. They spoke, they laughed, they smiled.
Guy was singing.
Mm-hmm.
We was noticed that, and I kept saying right here, baby, they're laughing, baby, look, they're telling jokes. They said, come here. What they say to Serenity? The guy said to Serenity, calling her up.
My friend.
Get me up here, my friend, this and that. So it was a different vibe and energy. Nothing to pit against to say one is wrong and the other, but this is an observation that it's a seriousness. And I asked the guy, remember the guy with the copier business? I asked him, do y'all ever smile and laugh or joke? Just hang out and just laugh and kick it.
And now, be loud, because they're not loud people at all.
Very reserved.
No howling laughter.
But they do. We've seen people laugh. We've seen smile. But for the most part, nah. So it was very concerning to my wife.
Interesting. I wouldn't say concerning.
Yeah. Interesting, I guess. Yeah, interesting. To the point she brought it up. I took note of it. So that was one thing. But very respectful people.
Yes.
Not going to argue.
Yes.
Not going to. I shared with my experience with the two bad experience I had with rental cars, and so the guy didn't want to give me my refund on my money. The car reeked of gasoline, and my wife and Serenity got sick at their stomachs. It was getting at me. I mean, I had to call the guy. I said, man, you gotta get this vehicle, man. And then he tried to hee-haw around and said, not really wanted to, but he wound up visioning bringing another car, which was what? What problem was that?
Infested with roaches.
For real.
All ages.
Babies,
the
big
babies
ones, all
and the mamas and the papas.
And when we say infest, we're not talking about 1, 2, 3.
No.
We're talking about hundreds and hundreds in front and the back. And it just came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yes.
It came out of nowhere to where it freaked them out. And I had to pull over the road, and I'm running down the street trying to find a place that got bug spray. And they just jump out the car, and Serenity up here scratching her leg and scratching, and my wife, she's shaking her hair and just like, no. And they wasn't getting back in that car. Yeah. So now I had to make a phone call. I said, man, I can't drive this car. But, because they didn't want to give me my money, this and that. And this, I'm getting to my point of how they are as a people. So I said to him, right, because he drove with him and another guy who actually dropped off the first car. And I say, man, I just need my money back. I got somebody else and go ahead and just deal with the rental cars. It's just been too much of a nightmare. Let me just go and get my money back. And he really didn't want to do it. And so I just told him, I said, well, man, you know what? I tell you this right here. I take on both of y'all. Let's just go ahead and fight it out. Y'all two against me. And they looked at me like they was like, what? And I was, and I said, no, y'all two against me. And it was happening to be a security guy right there at our Airbnb. And I walked him and said, hey, look, check this out. Okay. They don't want to give me my money back, all that right there. And I think it's worth, me going ahead and fighting those two right there. And, you go ahead and take care of him when I go ahead and put him on the ground, throw him over. And at first, the one guy said, okay. And then I got to this position. He's like, no. But they're not in for any of that. They are very peaceful people. And I learned that you don't have to get all irate and loud and all that right there. They're very peaceful, quiet people. And so
non-confrontational,
that's the word, non-confrontational. And I've been told that several times, that they don't engage in that. And that's because of the past. They're not trying to stem up a lot of these issues and things like that. Now, so that was the observation when it came to that. Just some information that we observed and all, but beautiful people. I mean, hey, here's the other thing, back to what I'm saying about deserving to live in Rwanda, is because I believe the land that was theirs and many dispersed and killed and lost. I just believe for me to come in and start business and these people getting paid, how much they say majority of them getting paid like what?
Was it $3?
Something like that a day, $3 a day. And then those who want to put a shine on Rwanda, because you know how we are. When I say shine, it's a beautiful place. Hey, no doubt. There's certain things I just don't like, okay, when I go around Africa. I don't like the word boy. You already know that. This is your man, not your boy. They refer to the workers as boys. Boys quarters, the servant quarters. And how is it going to be for me to go there and have somebody cook for me, clean for me, and do all the property and stuff and all that, and then you're paying for me? I don't care what anybody else do. All right. I'm not trying to rain on nobody's parade, and those who live and what they're doing, that's their business. I'm talking about for me. I can't see myself doing that. And I know that, hey, it's a way of life and people get paid just a certain amount and all that right there. And we sometimes lose focus on, this is the land of opportunity. It is. And I've said that 1,000 times. It's a land of opportunity. You can get in here, you can start your business, and you can grow, and you can do however which way you want. When it comes to, there's no skies. The sky is not the limit. It's limitless. And so when I'm seeing a people who are inviting us in because they're wanting jobs, and we're helping out in the economy. And that's a beautiful thing. But when I see that the struggles that the people went through and what they're going through, and still how I hear how people feel and how some have not forgiven, I'm like, okay, y'all need to go ahead and get to y'all place. This is y'all area where y'all had an issue. Y'all reconciled and y'all building. And I'm like, that's my thoughts, y'all. That's my thoughts on that. It's crossed my mind. Does that mean I'm not going to go to live in Rwanda? No, not at all. Or go visit Rwanda? No, not at all. These are things that I think about. I methodically think about things a lot, because as great as a job that President Paul Kagame is doing, I asked another question, and that's right here. Do y'all think the next person who comes in, or those who may be in power, may be harboring those issues and may try to turn things upside down? And everybody said, I don't think so. No, we're moving past that, and people are not going to deal with that. They won't deal with that.
And they say how appreciative they are of President Kagame.
Oh, love him. I love him. And I believe he's, like I said, he's one of the keys, I believe, to help out Black America. You better believe it. They call us Black Americans. So Yeah. And with that, family, go ahead.
I think one thing that I will always carry with me is the work ethic that you see of the Rwandans. The attention to detail, it got me when I saw these ladies sitting on the ground with little tools digging the grass. And the thing about it is, we wouldn't even have paid attention. We wouldn't even have paid attention to the little 1 or 2 spriglets of grass coming out from the cracks. But they were on there, sitting on the ground, picking, just wow. And the picture of the man walking down the street with 9 mattresses on his head, like it was nothing.
That's all around Africa.
Yeah.
It's because this is her first venture. Yeah. So you find it all over Africa. I've seen it coming driving here in Tanzania. You know, people pushing carts and people, you know, just carrying things. Oh, the work ethic is unbelievable. I mean, we are strong people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are definitely a strong people. Food, yeah, you know, my wife talked about food. We enjoy the food here. The one thing that I really would have enjoyed is more of the local dishes that are hard to find. You know, I had one that was in the business district and they had a buffet. And so I got video on that and he was able to share their traditional, I call them side dishes, not really dishes, but I call them sides, you know. But, I wish there was more of that, you know. I wish there were more around so that we can go ahead and really appreciate. But there's very lacking, wasn't it? We really relied upon more Western food. We did, yeah.
There's a question. A couple of people are asking, did we see a lot of white folks?
You can answer that.
Very few. The last evening that we were there, we ate at a restaurant, and that was the most that we had ever seen in one spot. And there were maybe 10, not in the same party. And that was tables. Probably the most that we had seen while there.
Kimihurura, if I say that correctly, is an area where most of the foreigners may live, from what I'm told. And so you're going to find more white people in that area. And that restaurant we went to, called The Hut, is where, yes, you know, it was a lot of white folks that were in there. But around Kigali, we ain't seeing a lot of white folks. Oh, the other place where we seen a lot of white folks is when we went to go get our COVID test. So getting the COVID test, because these people leaving the country. So we saw more white people there where you had to take your COVID test and all. Which brings me to that point. That was one of my downfalls when it comes to traveling to Rwanda. You have to take a test going to the country. Mm-hmm. You have to take a test when you get in the country. Mm-hmm. Then you have to take a test leaving the country. And like I said, I spent about $500 getting, you know, because the first time I was there, I had to pay $150 to get in, $60 to, once I landed on the ground, $60 to leave out. And then coming back with my wife and all, it was, how much was it leaving Kenya?
Was it
50? $50 leaving Kenya, then landing on the ground in Rwanda. Then you had to pay $60. And then we had to pay us $60 leaving. And so, and here was the thing that I'm like, why are we paying a COVID test going to a country who don't require COVID tests, which is Tanzania? Mm-hmm. That did not make no sense to me. We're going to a country, but then again, I guess, you know, because on the plane and they have their stewardess and they don't want to expose their people, maybe, whatever. But I just did not understand it. But $500 it was for me to go in and out. So I would say too, because I'm on a different side of this COVID thing, and much respect to the President Paul Kagame, because he's protecting his people in this whole thing called COVID. Nobody knows really, I think, the numbers, how it is. I've noticed that most African countries typically are going to follow what the Western world will do. And so, they're crunching back their curfew times. It was 9 o'clock, and then we were just told that it's going to probably go back to 8 o'clock. And so they're serious about the COVID. Masks must be worn.
Very.
Police officers will, if you in your car, they'll point at you, try to tell you put your mask on. If majority places you go, you will wash your hands everywhere you go. Sanitize, 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 sanitize. Every place basically where you go in, you're sanitizing. Not everywhere, but a lot of places we went to, you are definitely.
I think everywhere we went,
you're
there was
sanitizing
either a
hands.
hand washing station or.
Yeah, we went. We
sanitizer.
we had to sanitize going into the mall. Then we sanitized going into the store. Leave out of that store, sanitize going into the next store. And it's like, boy, they taking this serious. I mean, can you fault them? Nah, but I'm just saying these are some of the observations and things, and that was concerning to me when it comes to the COVID test, because I heard, okay, by one of the residents that, and I haven't did the research. And typically I do the research, but vaccines are possibly going to be introduced in March, possibly, but don't hold me to that. But that's what I heard. And my biggest concern is that I don't want to get stuck in a country that is going to mandate you either have to take the vaccine to enter or exit out of when there is not long studies to know the long-term effects on this vaccine. And so I won't go back to Rwanda until actually, and I'm going to sit here in Tanzania for the most part, because Tanzania, you got off the plane, we go right into the airport, no mask. And matter of fact, what was it? The health, there was a health guy had a health thing on his jacket. He said, "Oh, our prayer's been answered. We don't have to worry about that." How did he say
at the
that?
airport here?
In Tanzania here.
They prayed and that the Lord was going to protect the country.
We're protected. We said our prayers. We're protected. And so I was like, wow, hey, they have the faith. And I know President Magufuli, he said that on one of the videos that I saw that, hey, their prayers have been answered. COVID don't have no effect on them. A lot of people disagree with them, but for the most part, Africa itself is still surprising to the Western world why it has not done the devastation that they're saying has been done in their countries. And so, so that was a concern of mine on how far is Rwanda going to take, the COVID and all that stuff there. And I had a conversation with some associates there, and some people, they're for it, and there are those who are not. And so I'm just on that other side that I'm very cautious in the approach of this vaccine because it's new and it's just hit the shelves, and I'm not exposing myself all that I can to something that is foreign when we don't even know long-term effects. And we know already the first people who got it in America was an African woman getting a shot from a Black doctor trying to push this so-called message that it's important. Look who's getting the shots. But that's what we do. That's stirring the tea, and they tickling our fancy, and we go into a hypnotic state, and then we follow so-called this whole scheme of things and find ourselves always at the bottom. But yet we always gonna be the first ones to get tested. I don't know. Let me stop all that. All right. Anyway. Rwanda's beautiful. Oh my goodness, beautiful. I mean, I love the views. I love the greenery. I love the landscaping. I love the countryside. The one thing that I was, if President right here would hear me on it right there, I think they need to have emissions tests. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's a lot of just fumes driving through and out in the city. I mean, and we see smokes coming out of the trucks, and there's a lot of diesel too. There, the motorcycles that they have are.
All you smell is diesel fuel.
You smell a lot of the fumes there, But the masks come in place. I mean, it actually helps. So I mean, it's a benefit, But I wish they have emissions. Really, I wish they would have emissions there. Something that I observed that could be better. But for the most part, there again, family, Rwanda is a beautiful country. I believe they are still working through this genocide that happened. I did not ask one person a question about the genocide. I refuse to. I am not going to invade in something that's very personal and sensitive to people. But there were those who did open up to me and did tell their story, uh, who did not want to be interviewed or be videotaped. And like I said, there are mixed emotions, okay? There are mixed emotions that go on. It's not like everybody's just like, okay, yeah, we love each other and, you know, we're going to go about our business. No, that's not everybody. So, um, what else we have here?
Did we see any Chinese-owned businesses?
I saw one Chinese food restaurant. But interesting enough, Rwandans are cooking some of the. We went to. I went to an Indian restaurant and I asked a question, and he said, "Rwandans cook this food." Um, but I saw one Chinese food restaurant. But did you see any Chinese folks?
I think the 2000 Hotel is maybe Chinese run. They have the lions out front, and I think a lot of times those lions are kind of symbolic
Good luck
for
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And then directly across from the 2000 Hotel is a Chinese medical building. So I think kind of around in that area, it might be more Chinese run.
Okay. Okay. So now, family, yeah, questions that y'all interested in right there. There again, I highly recommend you go visit Rwanda. Why? I believe the spirit that's on that land is pulling out old behaviors or behaviors that we're so accustomed to. Quick, ready, anger, fighting, loud mouth and, unforgiving. It's a place you can sit back and just observe and be like, I hadn't seen nobody raise a voice out there. I didn't see no argument.
Right.
We didn't see none of that.
No.
None of that.
Very quiet, peaceful people.
Yeah, we was talking tonight, and Serena didn't like her dish, and so she wanted to get another dish. She's like, "I don't like this right here." I'm like, hey, "You 16, you do what you do. I'm not going to speak for you." But anyway, she called and told them that she didn't really like the plate, and could she order something different? So they brought her something different. But for the most part, we are like that in America, and yet the picky, there ain't that goes on. If you don't like, you take what is and you eat it and you enjoy it, or you don't and you just move on. But yeah, it's one of those things. What other questions we got?
We plan on visiting all 54 countries in Africa at some point in time. Yes.
What are the questions we have here? Yeah, in Rwanda, they've done a great job, and the president and all done a great job in building his administration. 50% of the women are in administration, and women are definitely considered and representing Rwanda. And so that's definitely another thing that one should consider when it comes to the makeup of the body of a government. Because I believe that I can never experience the creator in totality until I have a woman. Because I don't believe the creator is just a he. It's just impossible. How can something create outside of only within the realm of one side? So women are definitely respected, and you see a lot of women, business women, and women, across the board who are, functioning just as well as men are.
There's a question about how long does it take to get the results of the COVID test back? About 24 hours. Yeah. They said 24 to 48 hours for the test that we took to leave the country. But coming into the country, the test that's done at the airport, we got the results back in about 18 to 20 hours. You see any questions on this?
I got a small screen. Let's see here. What countries in Africa you think that will reject the mandatory vaccine? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, you know. I do know Tanzania, hey, they laxed here. The millions of people we driving right in through the city and we looking around with just the traffic and the people, ain't no masks. Ain't nothing. They just like, we're doing business as usual. Ain't no curfews, ain't nothing. We doing business as usual. And that's that.
Some of them had masks at the airport.
Yeah, those who were greeting people, yeah, coming off the into the airport, yeah, they did. And I think it's your own. You have the right to wear a mask if you so choose or not, you know. But the majority of people, no, nobody was wearing a mask really. My wife chooses to wear a mask.
I will be wearing a mask.
Yes, she chooses to wear a mask. Other questions here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll tell you, fam, Tanzania. We're excited for Tanzania. We're gonna be here in Dar es Salaam for how many days? 5 days.
5 days.
And then we're gonna go over to Zanzibar for 3 days. And so, yes, I plan on getting out there and visiting. We're gonna be visiting as much as we can, and hopefully, I can talk to some locals and hopefully get some, you know, check out some housing. And I want to connect too with a few of the YouTubers out there, T3 and me. I know he reached out to me. He wanted us, you know, to collab together. I hadn't heard from him yet. I'd like to the traveling sister, hopefully, you know, the travelista sister, was it?
Traveling sister.
Yeah, but the other one, Travelista or something like that. It's her name. Want to check them out. Yeah, so, you know, Tanzania. Oh, 1 second. We got a super chat. Jermaine Go Long. Hey, I pray this helped, and one day we get to kick it when I touch down in Tanzania next year. Yeah, hey, just reach out to me. Stay in touch. Chrissy B. If you buy a house in the U.S., say about a year, and decide to move to Africa, do you suggest keeping your property and renting it out or just sell it? I can't answer that question. I'll tell you this right here. I just sold one of the condos that I have. So, you know, I don't know. I can't answer that. Only you, you know, you should know what's best for you.
It might depend on the market.
Depend on the
market
you are,
yeah. Where your property is.
Yeah. It all depends on, you know. I would say this right here, okay? I'll say this right because you're asking about rentals, okay? You got to do the math, okay? Do you suggest keeping your property and renting it out or just sell it? I don't know how much equity you have in the house. I don't know what your market is doing, you know. I don't know whether or not it's even worth renting it out. Can you rent it out and make a profit? I don't know. I don't know any of those things there, you know. Are you, you know, because you got to do the math and figure out, is this profitable to keep? So, yeah, keep that in mind. Brian Gibson, at Go Black to Africa. I remember when you said one of the taxi drivers told you you would probably be killed during the genocide because you looked Tutsi. How do you feel about that statement? Yeah, you're absolutely right. He did tell me that. I was surprised he brought up the word Tutsi because I thought that was a no-no word, Tutsis and Hootsies. So it did Hooties, I'm sorry, and Tootsies. Hutus and Tutsis, I'm sorry. I wanted to say Tootsie Rolls. But I was surprised and thrown back. Yes, I was. I was thrown back. And as you mentioned that, because I did think about the fact that if he had to come out of his mouth and say that, are other ones looking at me in that aspect as an enemy? I don't know. I did think about that. Very good question. That if you're going to measure me and call me that I look like something or someone, yeah, it's still there then. Good question.
M. Celestine, I have a daughter with asthma. Would you say the air pollution of the diesel gas would not be a great stop?
Live out in the countryside.
Yeah.
Cities always have, I don't care where you live at, cities have more pollution than anything. The countryside is beautiful, fresh air. It's just beautiful out there.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, that's any city. You can live in America and it's got pollution all over the place. You know, I can tell you that right now. I've lived right smack downtown. Nashville, Tennessee, pollution, 27th floor. You smell it. Yeah. So, Live in the countryside, rural area. Because there's still a lot of land, vast land in Rwanda. That's the country you want to go to. It's much land out there for you. Oh, yeah. You live out there, you ain't got to worry about it. And that's just in the city roads and all that. Once you get into the neighborhood areas, you don't smell it as much because there's less traffic and all that going around. So, yeah.
What do you guys think of freedom of speech in Rwanda?
They're very careful in what they say.
Very careful.
Very careful. They'll tell you that themselves. They'll tell you that, you know. Where we exercise our freedom of speech. They don't have that liberty per se. You know, they don't talk about, you know, if they agree or disagree with how COVID, the government wants them to handle COVID. They go along with it, and, you know, with respects that they believe in their president has made a decision, and not everybody may, but they'll tell you, yeah, no, there's certain conversations you just don't have the liberty to speak. That ain't coming from me. That's what I've been told. My wife could test that too.
Yumi Aphrodite, will I be a regular on the channel now?
What do you mean regular on the channel? Why is that?
when Serenity and I leave, then
you be a regular? I thought they asking for themselves. Oh, go ahead.
When Serenity and I leave, then you'll just be seeing Go Black again.
But I can always StreamYard, and then she can always be the guest there sitting there, and we can have conversations. So that is always an alternative, because we're on StreamYard now. We're not live per se, what you would call the YouTube live, but we're StreamYard live. So yes, that is an alternative that we can do, most definitely. And I think we will be seeing most of my wife, because everybody loves her. So, you know, hey, I mean, views have been going up since Miss Go Black came into the picture. So, you know, yeah.
When am I coming back to Africa? Probably in the summer. Giselle wants to know, are you going back to America at any point?
I don't have any plans, but I cannot say what the future will bring. I don't know what the future may bring. And I've learned, boy, I mean, every time I say I ain't going to do something, it turns around and I do it, you know. I swore I would never go back to Ohio. And look, I wound up back up in Ohio, you know. So you never know. You never know. So I don't know. But I do have intentions on being here, you know. But that's another conversation, because y'all stay tuned.
Katharina Janka brings up something about the weather. She says it's cold and cloudy all the time. Every single day that we were there, it did rain. And some of the rain lasted for a couple hours. But to me, all of that rain is what makes the land so lush and pretty and green and beautiful. But yes, it does rain a lot. And there were overcast days, for sure.
I think, to me, I don't think it rains a lot, but overcast days. And I've said a time or two that I need my sun. I'm just a sun man. I need my sun. I'm losing my blackness. I'm getting back light again. You know, I was hoping my skin turned like my beard, you know. But anyway, yeah, I'm losing my Ghanaian tan. So no, but I need the sun. I love the sun. And my wife would tell you, I gotta have the sun. And when I was living up in Wisconsin, I'm telling you, it had a tremendous effect on me, not having sun during the wintertime. And I had to push in vitamin D's, and, you know, and I was dealing with some stuff that was just physically. So, yeah.
Let's see. Arthur Bennett wants to know if they eat chicken. Yes, they eat a lot of chicken, beef, fish, and they have pork on the menus too.
Oh, yeah.
And lamb.
Yep, and lamb, and goat. And goat too, yeah. Oh, yeah, they have all that.
Will you be returning to Ghana with your family?
To visit, you know, I'm not sure when, but, you know, I definitely want to visit. And I'll tell y'all, you know, I put my foot in my mouth because I think people took me the wrong way when I, was talking about Ghana and why I wouldn't buy land and stuff there. And it's like, oh, I'm definitely going back to visit. My wife has to go there and see it, because I really miss some things about Ghana. You're just not going to find in another African country. It's just, and it has its own flavor. It has its own way. It has its own, its own energy, vibe, and all. Ghana has its own thing. I'm gonna tell you this right here. Check this out. I was in the bathroom and I was in the tub washing my clothes. My wife, she said, "Are you in there washing your clothes?" I said, "I sure am." Guess where I got that from? My Ghanaian family. Because I was like, I need some clothes washed, And I was like, shoot, man, I'm like, because I was sitting, I got the videos too. I'm gonna put it up, They were washing my clothes, and all right there. Give the young ones, a little money. And but I'm just watching, man, how they just wash the clothes with their hands in the bucket and everything, and boom, wringing out, and, all that right there, and put it on. Man, I was in the bathroom washing my clothes.
In the tub.
In the tub. Doing it. Yep.
Yeah. Do you see yourself settling in Rwanda or making it a home base?
Like I said before, I'm not sure where you came in. I'm gonna be on the sidelines watching what's going to go on with Rwanda when it comes to the COVID thing, And I think that's with any place. And the whole home base thing. I know, we talk about, we want to have a home base somewhere. I don't know, but this is one where my wife and I, when we have conversations, and we're going to decide on, whether it's going to be Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, Zanzibar. And we was hoping to get up to Uganda, but this is a team thing that we're going to decide on, and she really is going to be really the one I'm going to lean on, because I believe that I can really live basically anywhere, because my years in the military, and and I've lived practically a lot of places that but as far as my wife, she has her way of what she wants and what she sees in a place that she feels as though would be comfortable and conducive to what she may be used to. So, yeah.
Do women drive in Rwanda? Yes, women do drive.
Yep, and they got driving schools too. Driving schools, and we saw 2 locations that they had driving schools.
And we saw a couple women who were driving motorcycles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We saw women working on construction.
Yeah.
Yep. Like I said, Rwanda, if you want to be in a place that you're well represented,
yes,
their government's 50% women.
More than 50%.
Yeah, I think 52% or something like that. But President Kagame, he's a very smart man. And I'm like this right here. We come from Western world where men, is always dominating. And I'm like, nah, I'm sorry. We make the creator. We are the creator. Some people say the black woman's God or whatever. I get all that right there. We're the creator. Right here. Everything in life. Creation. Male, female, creation. Yep.
We got another super chat, and I think I lost it. My screen is jumping back and forth, so...
Yeah, it bounces up and down. You be careful of the arrow hitting that, and it puts you all the way down. Yeah, so... yeah, let's check out some other questions, family.
There was one question I saw. Is it safe in Rwanda?
Yeah, it's safe. But and what safe mean? Police are everywhere. Are they?
Woo! Yes,
everywhere.
Indeed.
Everywhere.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
And they are ready to handle whatever business needs to be handled.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you this right here. If you want to talk about genocide and all right there, it will be hard to start some mess up in there. Man,
because they are not playing. They're like, never again is this going to happen. Not on our watch.
Yeah. They
are ready.
But the police are friendly. I've spoken to many of them. Just chopped it up with them. Very friendly, approachable. They're not standoffish and all that right there. But just carry conversation with them and stuff. But
they're still quiet.
Oh yeah, they're quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they ain't like smile at you and nothing like that. But they will hold a conversation. But they're everywhere. They are everywhere. Is that good or bad?
It can make you feel very safe, but it can also make you feel intimidated. But I think overall, it would probably make you feel safe, that they're not going to let anything pop off.
Yeah.
But being in a different country, I felt intimidated because, like I said in another video, I didn't want to do the wrong thing or be misinterpreted.
Yeah. But yeah, police officers are everywhere. They're everywhere. I mean, probably at every light junction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. You see the military driving around too, you know.
And a lot of the military trucks where there are maybe 10 or 12 ready.
What? People you talking about?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Just driving around, ready.
So they're heightening security too. They're definitely heightening security. Matter of fact, we was going to the airport this morning, and this is the first time I ever saw this. You got to get out of your vehicle, right? Everybody coming to the airport, you got to get out the vehicle, even the driver. And you know how the car washes are? You take your car and then, you know, you take your foot off the brake, put it in neutral, and it just sends your car through. They got one of those to examine every car that goes through. Is going to go into the airport. Every vehicle is going to be checked. And then you get out, walk around, and meet the car as it gets over to the other side. Yeah. So you can feel safe. I've walked at nighttime, and you know there is no problems. Do you have plans to visit South Africa? Yeah, we said we're going to visit 54 countries. We're going to visit South Africa. You know, I still, you know, apprehensive and all that right there because I still carry some past pains on how our brothers and sisters were treated in the apartheid. You know, and there again too, you know, when you hear that, like, you know, part of South Africa is 92% African and 7% white, but yet 7% of the people own 90% of the land, something like that, some high number, whatever. I have issues with that. Yeah.
Giselle wants to know, will we be joining you again permanently? At some point. At some point, yes. What about the mosquitoes? Serenity got torn up.
That was where though?
That was in Nairobi.
Yeah, that was Kenya. But you know,
you saw a couple mosquitoes in Kigali.
Yeah. There's mosquitoes here. But you know, we're told what's the name? Judith told us that mosquitoes are really bad during June.
The rainy season. Yeah.
June or something like that.
June and July.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Would you like to interview John Magufuli? Of course, man. Who is he? Mosea Jones? Do you have any connections? Would love to. You know, I personally think he's done some great things for Tanzania. Most definitely. And I like when leaders snub their nose at the West. I love it. Yeah.
Are you planning on learning any African language, and what language is it?
Swahili, well here on the west, on the east. Most definitely Swahili.
And even in our ride from the airport to our hotel, our taxi driver spoke very little English, and the only language he said he really speaks is Swahili. And so, with the limited amount of Swahili that I know, I was trying to speak with him. So yes, we will definitely be learning Swahili.
Oh yeah. How do you like Tanzania so far? We got here and the night crept on us real quick. I mean, we got here at like 5:30.
And the sun was going down.
And we checked in our hotel, it was dark. So we haven't even been out at all, except from the airport to here, you know. Well, let me say something, because you know I'm all about taxis and Ubers. I'm always having these issues with the drivers and stuff. But when you go to the airport there, the taxi drivers, right, they're going to charge you $35, right? And I got a little absent-minded and I forgot my mindset again. Check Uber prices out, right? Because Uber was only $7, $6 and something cent, right? They want to charge $35. So, but he wanted to validate the price. Say, oh no, we got a book to show you. So because I said 35. But what I did do was I asked a police officer in the airport, how much do you know where the hotel we were staying? And he said, yeah. How much is that right there typically, that taxi? He said, don't pay no more than, he said 10 to 15 US dollars. I said, okay, all right. So then when I went to get some of the shillings that they have, I asked another guy, I said, hey, what's the average for a taxi ride to the hotel? I asked him, do you know the hotel? So yeah. He said, yeah, don't pay no more than 20 US dollars. I said, okay. When we get out there and taxi cab driver want to charge $35. Then he runs to go get this book. I said, see this right here, this is the cost, this and that, right? And so then I just started thinking, we got in the taxi cab, we're driving forward on right there. But anyway, you know, and they knew that's what they were doing and stuff like that. But everything is always up for bargaining because we did need a driver tomorrow to take us all around. And so I hit him up with a deal. And then I said, hey, are you looking for another job? We need a driver for us tomorrow, How much would it cost us between this time and that time? And then he was like, okay, all right, cool. Hey, all right, you cool. Let's do it. So, so keep that in mind that, ask the questions in the airport, what's the cost, whatever. Ask the hotel that you're going to, ask them what the typical price is, getting to and from where. And
see if there's a hotel shuttle, because probably the hotel shuttle will be less than the taxi cab drivers there at the airport.
Yeah. Because they see us coming. Mm-hmm. So,
Are there power outages in Rwanda? We didn't experience any.
We did not experience. Actually, I experienced one. I was at Colin's place, but it was just like quick. I think it was like a minute. But he did say that certain parts, they will experience more electricity shut off than where he is, or water shut off. Different part, depending on what area you're living in.
Will you ever visit an expat community and interview our folks in Tanzania?
Yes, I want to. I really want to. If you look at some of my videos, 20, 30 videos back, I did videos. Like I said, I did the video on T3 and me. Told people go check them out because I'm about supporting people's channels. If they're about trying to promote Africa, I'm going to do that. The Traveling Sister, I did her, and I did Exodus. I did her. She's here in Tanzania. I did a video on her, and then it was the Travelista. Did one on her. I think I did those three together in one package, telling everybody, go check them out. These are some contacts that might be on the ground for you. Yeah, I want to interview and sit down and chop it up with them, most definitely, while we're here, Tanzania.
Would you like to interview John Magufuli?
Yeah, I already answered that.
Okay.
Most definitely.
What is it that you are looking for exactly?
In the spot? It's a very good question because, the one thing when it comes to making decisions is sometimes you got to be clear on what you want, but then at the end of it all, so many things, the things you had on your list didn't even pan out to what what you wind up with. And when you're talking about being married and stuff like that, it's just not the only one. I'm not the only one to have to consider. And so, what exactly? There's no exactly, but it's just really land and, opportunities for my children, for us, meaning that, getting land, building, and hopefully business generated, so that we can share that, There's a couple of those things like that.
I think safety is important too.
Yeah, I keep that a lot in mind.
Safety's important.
Yeah. I mean, I can go on with the list, but those are the main things. I'm at a point now too where at times I'm like, why do I got to pay for land? We're coming back to Africa, because there are some countries that's giving land away for free. I mean, whether you want to talk about Ghana, is giving away. There's several locations they gave away land for free. A couple people I know, we're talking about, getting some land, and we were talking about like building a clinic or something like that. And they're like, we'll give you land for free. If you're going to help out the village, we'll give you the land for free. If if you're building something to help the community. So that is also something that is to be considered. So yeah. And I do a lot of thinking, y'all. I do a lot of thinking. It drives her crazy. It drives her crazy because I know it's not a perfect world.
Right.
But when it comes to certain things, I look at exactly what I'm looking for is really predicated upon what's important to me. Stability of the country, okay? The people, the location. And my wife, we love the water. So, and really she want to be looking at the water, taking consideration. Rwanda is landlocked. Okay, so you got a lot of ground transportation that's coming in, things that may take longer and be a bit more expensive, and driving, you got to take that in consideration. So it's a lot of things, but I look at, stability of the country, its history. I mean, I'm always researching the history and all that right there, but I know it's not a perfect world. It's not. Will you ever visit Expat? Oh, you read that already? Mm-hmm. Come on with the questions, family, while you got us.
Favor Bless, are you planning to visit Gambia with your wife? Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I would like to see the Gambia.
Yep, we'll be going back to Gambia. It'd be a quick visit. It's so small of a country. It's very small of a country. But I would love, we got YouTubers, man, that we chopped up every now and then on just the YouTube channels, the Happy Companion, Melanated, I'm a man that melanated.
It starts with an M, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. We got people on the ground there, These people who's promoting Africa. These people who doing great works. I gotta go check them out. We're all family, all of us. You, I, everybody. We're all family. So definitely, we'll be there. So I'll be visiting some countries twice. Senegal, Gambia, Ghana. Ghana I've been already 2 times. So yeah.
Glenda Coker says, "Is English spoken a lot in Rwanda?" Ah.
I was told that the younger kids are the ones who speak more English than with the older people,
But I found a lot of people who don't speak English and just spoke French and Kinyarwanda.
Yeah.
And some folks don't speak much Swahili.
President Paul Kagame took French out of the schools and brought in English because he said that is a a universal language for business. So the youth go to school learning, they will be taught English. So, yeah.
Is your daughter going to school over there? Right now she's on break. When we first got here, she was doing schooling virtually. And, there was a 7 and 8 hour difference. So she was up till late at night doing her homework. But right now she's on break.
JC says, your wife won't leave Ghana.
What is our impression of the Wi-Fi connection in Kigali?
They say that this liquid internet is supposed to be fast and all that. I didn't really experience the speed that I guess they were talking about, but only thing I can guess is that from what they used to have. So it must be, I would hate to see what it used to be. But, I had my SIM card that I use more than the Wi-Fi. So with that connection, it was good, depending on location, and some people, they don't understand that. And they say, your pictures are blurry and this and that. It has nothing to do with my camera. It's the reception. So it all depends on the areas that you're in. I found certain areas where it's difficult to even make phone calls. So yeah. Brian Gibson, hey, thanks a lot, man, for your super chat. What is your opinion of the cultural difference between Ghana, Kenya, and Rwanda? What is their strongest points and differences you notice between countries and also similarities? See, Brian trying to get me in trouble, right? You trying to get me to size them up. I will say this right here, okay? I love Ghana because I felt like I was still more in a African cultural tradition when you see you know, the tribes, more of the tribes and the dressing, the old way of doing life, washing clothes and all that, or even though you still find that right there in Rwanda or in Kenya and a whole lot of aspects. But to me, I just felt like it was more of a traditional African culture versus more Western. Now, of course, across a larger city, and you find there are people who are more Western and dressing and all that right there, but the traditions, I still see more on that in Ghana. Kenya, Nairobi, we'll be in Mombasa, but Kenya, we really love the Maasai tribe, so we was able to experience that tribe there. And you can find them a lot around that area. Where were we? Up there by, so really around the whole area, Nairobi area, outside the skirts, north of that, everywhere. But Nairobi to me was a hustle bustle city, a lot more Western, a more Western feel. There again, we haven't even scratched the surface of Kenya. We haven't even been outside of Nairobi except for going up there towards the game reserves out there, the safari area, savannah area. Rwanda, it was definitely more Western. And like I said, we wish we really could have found more of traditional local cooking. And just, we had a hard time finding that. We were able to go to the market. My wife was able to go ahead and have her dress made. She was definitely happy about that.
Yeah, that was a neat experience.
$11.
At the Kimaranko market.
Yes, $11. And it's a very unique market. We have a lot of things made there. It was very, very interesting place to be. But there again, I didn't feel that African old tradition, you know, even going out to the countryside, you know, Ghana's got it though, for me, in my opinion. Ghana, yeah, and the old their dishes that they have there in Ghana, yeah, yeah. I said it when I visited. Melanated Mosley, there we go. That's right, my man out there from the Long Beach and what's the name, Happy Companion, Compton area, yeah. All right, so I hope I answered your question, Brian. Yes, I know you're trying to put me in a hot spot, but yeah, you know, each of them got their own flavor. Each of them got, you know, old African traditions. They got tribes. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of tribes. We just haven't even scratched the surface of it. We really haven't. You know, hopefully I can connect with everybody tell me about the African Traveler. The African Traveler. He does a great job of showing Kenya. And so hopefully I can meet him when I get back out there too, connect with him. You know, definitely our sister out there, African Tigress, meet with her, Dr. Mumbi. All those I want to meet. You know, all of those I want to sit down and chop it up with. Oh, yeah. Yeah, family. So let's see here. What other questions we got? Bring it on, y'all. Bring it on.
Do they wear African attire in Rwanda? Yes, we definitely saw lots and lots of the ladies. The ladies more so than the men.
Older ladies.
Some young ones too.
Some young ones, but most, I think, older ladies. Yeah. Most older ladies. Would you say there were more? What do you call them old? Older ladies, like, you know, grandmothers or, you know, women in their 50s. The younger women,
they might have the African fabric, maybe as a skirt.
Okay.
Younger women, what were you gonna say?
The younger girls, they wear their dresses, but it was, I would say, it was more Western dresses and skirts.
Definitely
skirts.
More Western.
The skirts.
Skirts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't. Somebody said you can't speak against President Paul Kagame. Hey, I don't think you ought to. What are you gonna say negative, really? I mean, for all what our man done, His Excellency. I mean, I know, you know, we all don't agree on everything, And, but I understand why he is what he is for what he's done. And if you really check out uh, what he did when he was a soldier coming back in to eradicate the genocide that was happening, you know, to me, he's that Rambo. He's that Rambo to me. So
Rwanda is still getting used to outsiders. They are only 20 years ago, so it takes some time. It's not a big deal. That's what we figured.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. I mean, and we're not even trying to make it a big deal. We're just sharing our opinion,
Observations.
our observations, and like I said, our opinion means nothing. It really don't. I mean, we're just shedding a little light on our observations. So when you come, it ain't gonna be like, because that's culture shock is. When people gonna go ahead and tell a story and be like, oh, you're gonna love it, you're gonna this and that, and wait till you get here, boom, boom, and you get there, you be like, whoa, you didn't make mention, I didn't hear nobody talk about this. The interview I did with the brother, he said, hey, he had his business, it was broken into, they stole his computer, his game, and broke into all the other things. Most people ain't gonna talk about crime that goes on. Thefts apparently is one of the issues that they have. Murder isn't. Assaults aren't. But we've been told time and time again, keep your phones kind of close to you. It might get snatched. And there are those, thievery happens.
Were there many African Americans in Rwanda?
No, but it's growing though. I've asked a few people, and I think the number I was getting like probably near 40 now or so. But we having discussion last night at dinner, and a lot of Rwandans haven't met Black Americans. That's what they call it, Black Americans. Never met a Black American. So it's very few of us. We already know we don't even travel, let alone, barely outside the States. But, if we do, we're going on a cruise down in, and down there in Central America. And it's typically going to be Jamaica, or it's going to be Cozumel, what else? Jamaica, or Bahamas. Yeah, Jamaica, Bahamas, Cozumel, or what's the other place there in Mexico? Cozumel. It's 3 spots. But anyway, that's what we typically do. That's where we, as far as typically, as a whole, as a people, travel is there. So Africa's waiting.
Where are we now? Right now, we are in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, as they say it. Tanzania. They corrected us. It is Tanzania.
Which country seems more independent of outside money? More independent of outside money? I don't know.
2 people have told us to link up with Ali Jape in Zanzibar. So I'll make a note of that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone talk about Burundi? It's such a nice, small country.
Sounds like a YouTube channel you can start and be the first to go ahead and bring light to Burundi. We were always told, he who has the idea is the first to run with it. So, hey, bring light on it. I hope all the 54 countries, somebody brings light on it. Okay, all right, let's see here. Somebody says Kagame is a hero. Oh, yes, in the eyes of many people. Oh, yeah. There again, family, like I said, I have nothing bad to say about President Paul Kagame. Nah. No, I can't find nothing negative to say about him. Not at all. For what he's done and how he's brought people together, how can you? I've heard the stories, and I've seen some of the videos, and seen some of those who were affiliated to him. There's his right-hand man and all them who told him stories and all that right there. I don't know, but I know this right here. I was on the ground in the country spoke with the people, had an opportunity to see for myself what is, and what I see is greatness. That's what I see. You know, I see greatness.
Jaquel Hightower, which African country do you think is the cleanest? That would be difficult until we see all 54 countries.
But Google it, and they say it is Rwanda. And I am very much impressed.
Definitely.
I have never seen a place cleaner than Rwanda. I just have not. I have not. And I was in the countryside, the rural side. I was in the slum areas. And I'm talking about basically spotless of trash. It blew my mind. Because I kept hearing about it, reading about it, and knew about it. And I said, I got to go see for myself.
It is true. It is true.
Like my wife said earlier, people are out there sweeping up on the curbs.
7 days a week.
Out there keeping their place clean. You don't just find that in the markets. Then you figure the markets with all the opening up boxes and papers and all that, right? No, I ain't gonna say you might have seen a piece of paper over there, whatever. But no, when we over there in the business district and all of that's going on, it's totally different than all the other countries. It's cleaner than America. For those who think America's all great, it's cleaner than America. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. It's the cleanest countries I've seen. The cleanest country I've been to. I will say that without a shadow of a doubt. Because I get around. When I get in the car and I drive, I will drive. I love driving in and out, up and down, all around, and get every part of that city. And I will be acquainted with the city in a matter of a week. I guarantee you. And so, so I was able to explore all throughout there. Now, I'm just talking about in the inner city, Kigali. I'm not talking about on the outskirts. I haven't been all the way 2 hours away, 3 hours away, 5 hours away. But I have been to the countryside, close to 2 hours away out there at the lake. And we went up into a couple of areas. Clean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How do you view American society now that you're on the continent?
That's a good question. You want to answer that?
You take it away.
No, go ahead, share.
Go on.
She told me go on. How do I view America? I already had a view of America before I came to Africa. You know, I already did because I've traveled around the globe. So when people say, oh, America's the greatest country and all that right there, I just knew it was a lie because I've been to countries that I was treated better. I've known people who left America, who was living there on the ground in those countries. And I'm talking about Black folk who's living in Muslim states, who are living in Asian areas, who are living all around the globe and will not come back to America. Please go check out my man, The Experience of Japan. I think it's the name of his channel. He interviews nothing but Black folks all throughout Asia. And majority of people, they will not come back to America. They say they are living their life. So there again, I'm promoting Africa. He's over there promoting Asia for different opportunities for brothers and sisters. And so so that's what I'm doing. I'm promoting Africa. So yeah.
Did we visit the site of Hotel Rwanda? Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Had dinner there.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting
I was gonna say, go ahead.
Is that I had gone to the receptionist and asked the question, is there a sign or a plaque or something of the hotel's history? And I was told no, nothing.
No old pictures.
Nothing.
Nothing that how it used to be.
Yeah. So it just is a sign that they're moving forward and they do not want to bring that up.
Which is interesting because they got the memorials around.
Mm-hmm.
They got memorials and the festivities going on. So, yeah. Let's see here. Why a lot of diasporas living in Ghana? Hey, Ghana was one of the leading countries, I guess, back in the days that was very receptive to people coming. People found a lot of refuge in Ghana. I know people who's been there 30 years. And a lot of people settled there in Ghana because of just it's how receptive it was to us. So yeah, and now because of the links with the slavery, the history of the dungeons that are there, and there's a lot of tourism that goes there. A lot of people are connecting with that. Yeah.
How is it to be in a country like Tanzania without masks? We will probably have more to say about that toward the end of our time here.
When I got in the airport, I took my mask off and said, "No masks." Took it off.
And Serenity and I kept ours on.
Yeah. So enjoy it. Yeah, I kind of enjoy the freedom, but then again, too, it comes in handy too. When you talking about fumes from cars or something like that, Serenity breath sometimes smells, so I put on my mask.
Oh. Wow.
She jumped off the couch, y'all.
Are you still friends with Colin?
Oh, of course, yes, man.
Yes.
Colin, man, he dropped us off at the airport.
We had an awesome time visiting with Colin.
And we had dinner last night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and he's about to branch off and do his own thing, as far as starting his channel. I try to encourage him and say, hey man, you got to do your own, and promote and get yourself out there. Oh yeah, Colin's my elder, man. Colin's my elder. That man is a wealth of information, and he got stories after stories. He's very well traveled. I call him the firecracker because you know what? Sometimes sit with him right here, he'll go bah, but he helps people. He lends a hand. People are reaching out to him, and he's trying to, he's at an age I would think that shoot, man, you taking on some work. Really, you shouldn't, but the man's got a giving heart, and he's there for us, So look out for him and his channel. I think it's Amir Tours, Amiryl. I'm sorry if I screwed that up. If you watching, put your name up there in there, Colin. But yeah, Colin's doing well.
Will you go visit Egypt and Khartoum, Sudan?
Have to go back to Egypt. I've been to Egypt already. Did a beautiful 2-week tour. I recommend this tour that you need to go on. Everybody needs to go on Azra Kwesi's tour. If you want the real story, a man who has carved his teeth in the history under the tutelage of master teachers like Dr. Ben, I just lost my thought now. Yakinen, or our master teacher, Henry Clark. He's come up with a lot of teachers, Ben Yakinen and Henry Clark. But and these guys right here, I'm talking about in the early 40s and time frames. These guys was in Egypt, and they are scholars, and so Azra Kwesi does about 2 tours a year, and I'm talking about you don't just go to Cairo and look at the 3 pyramids that everybody know about. You go from Cairo, you then leave the Cairo, then you go all the way down the Nile on a 3-day tour, pit stopping all the way down the Nile, or excuse me, all the way up the Nile, okay? Because the Nile flows north, right? The only river in the world that flows north. So you're going Upper Egypt, as they call it. So I know some of my hotel brothers out there wanted to correct me on that. But yeah, you go all the way up the Nile, and we stopped at like 5 different places until we got to Abu Simbel, which is only 30 miles or so from Sudan. And so history after history after history after history after history, without a shadow of a doubt, that you find all things that came out of Egypt, or Kemet as they call it, the land of Kush or the Nubians. Yes. And yes, I got to go back because my wife hasn't been there.
Do you plan on getting African citizenship in the future?
I hope so. Most definitely. There again for y'all, I was born in Africa, in Libya. So I would love to be able to get some form of citizenship in Africa.
Has anyone asked you to remove your mask? No.
Mm-mm.
Because you still see a few people wearing a mask.
You have a right to wear a mask if you want. Yeah. They would probably say those are the ones without faith who's wearing their mask, because they already said, the president said, the Lord's answered their prayers, that this COVID does not have an effect on the people, and they've been doing well. So that's what the president said, and one person stated that in the airport.
Are we going to Uganda? We were planning on including Uganda in this East African tour, but it was just really tricky with needing COVID tests to enter a country, needing COVID tests to leave a country, and it would have had us taking tests like every other day.
Well, the most important thing that I think it was is that when it was an uprising because of the elections that they had, and one of the candidates got arrested, and if y'all watch Brother King Obatunda, he kind of shared what happened to him when that uprising happened. So that was one of the things we said, okay, we can just go ahead and but I'm gonna be there though. I'll be there. Yeah, because when my wife goes back, I'm gonna be visiting up there. I got matter of fact, I got a friend right now back home. He's married to, his wife is from there. So, and matter of fact, I just hollered at him today, and he said he got contacts for me when I do go. So I will be up there. Oh yeah. So stay tuned on those right there, family, because I'm gonna be pushing that footage out there too as well. Most definitely.
Is the traffic in Tanzania like the traffic in Kenya?
Say that again.
Is the traffic here like the traffic in Kenya?
Yeah, we were stuck in traffic there. We stuck in traffic both places. Traffic. Huge city here too. Yeah. Skyscrapers all over the place. Huge. I mean, big. I think there's more skyscrapers here than I saw in Nairobi.
I'll see tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, I looked out when we were up there on the 20th floor. Yeah. Yeah, let's see what else we got here, family. We're going to go ahead. We got 8 minutes left, so get your questions in. Yes, we're going to Ethiopia. We will be going to Ethiopia. I connected with my man Zaid, the one who I interviewed just the other day. He will be going back over there to Ethiopia. Hopefully, that's one contact. I want to check out our Jamaican brothers down south in Ethiopia too, where they have been there for many years. That some land that Haile Selassie had given the brothers and sisters. I would love to check out brothers and sisters down there as well. I want to check out some of the old histories that they have when it came to, before the Europeans came with Christianity. I want to check that out, and some of the old carved in, if you want to call them churches, but that's in the ground. I want to check those out. Yeah, there you go. Shashaman. Yeah, GP. There you go. Yeah. That's where all the Rastas are down there. Shashaman, I think I pronounced that right. Mm-hmm.
Do you know the website to the tour you named for Egypt?
Yeah. It's called the Kemet Tours. It's called the Kemet Tour, Kemet Tours. And look that up there. Google it. Kemet Tours. Azra Kwesi. A-S-H-A. Azra. A-S-H-R-A. Kwesi. K-W-E-S-I. Kofi, Azuma, Go Black Africa, wear your mask. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, there's unrest in parts of Ethiopia. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yes, you're right. Narki. Yeah, Shashaman is a regular Ethiopian city, not a Rasta city. That's true. I was just saying that's where the Rastas had kind of went down in that area, and they've created their little sector or small area that that's where they reside at down there. Yeah, you're right. Yes, going to visit Nigeria, JC. Going to visit Nigeria. Most definitely, we're going to visit Nigeria.
Do you need shots before travel? The only one that's required is yellow fever. And surprisingly, it's required in Kenya, but no one in Kenya at the airport asked for our yellow vaccination card. They did ask for it here in Tanzania, though.
Did, but once we reached for it, he's like, don't worry about it.
I guess he saw them.
Yeah,
he saw them.
He's like, don't worry about it. Yeah. Because I got a letter of exemption from that yellow fever. I didn't take it, so, you know, I got a letter of exemption because I'm allergic to eggs. Yeah.
We definitely want to visit Eritrea for sure.
Somalia as well. Yeah. We're going to visit all 54 countries. We're going to visit them. We are going to visit them.
At some point in time.
Yeah. Yep. And I might go before my wife, you know, if she's, you know, she got a slow roll, I'll be out there visiting. You know. It's a lot of places to visit, and I'm very anxious to kind of go out there and kind of visit. Now that I'm on the continent, you know, hey, why not? You know, yeah. So we got 5 more minutes, family. If you got any other questions, hey, please hit us with it.
Did we need a COVID test leaving Rwanda? Yes, we did.
You need a COVID test to go into Rwanda. You need a COVID test when you land in Rwanda. You need a COVID test when you leave Rwanda. Yes.
But the process is easy. I think so. Because when we first got to the airport.
The process was easy because I was there before her. It was heck for me. Why? Okay, I'm gonna tell you why it's heck. Number one, you gotta do a passenger form. All right. You got to upload your passport. You got to upload your COVID test. And so you got to have that information in it. Then you got to fill out that whole form. All right. Then when you do is that then when you push it to process it, all right, they're going to give you this AX number. That AX number, right, you better number one, make a copy of it and keep it in your photos and then print it off, because depending on who you hit that day, they may ask for a hard copy of it. All right. The second thing you have to do, right, is you definitely have to get your COVID test. Now they got day requirements. Okay. Now the day requirements is what, 92, how many hours before you leave or come?
120.
120 days or something.
120 hours.
120 hours, 5 days, I think it is, something like that.
For Rwanda.
That's leaving. To come was 90 some hours.
96 for Kenya.
Now, she wasn't involved in all that because I was the one who was hipping her to the fact that, okay, look, when we go to the test, right, I had to go get money and put it on my mobile so that we can pay for it there. What they didn't tell you was you had to pay prior to going to get the test unless you had the mobile money on your phone. So what happened when I was there, I had to run to go get money, put it on my phone, because we were supposed to pay prior to the day you get tested. Put the money on the phone, run back over there, and then go ahead and you'll be able to pay them through your phone. So then you had to do that. You had to have a letter. When you're coming in, you had to have a letter, show them a letter of the reservations you have for the hotel that you're going to stay in. Okay? This was a whole lot to me, it was like a lot. You got to get the paperwork that for the hotel, for the COVID test. You had to make sure that your COVID test was within the time frame. When you do get the COVID, then when you get in the country, you got to take the COVID test. You got to wait at least 24 hours to get the results. Then you're free to go. Now leaving, you got to do the opposite. You got to turn around and you got to go get enough days in advance to get your COVID test. You got to pay for that COVID test. You got to redo that passenger form again. And then, to me, it was just a lot. I was just like, oh, $500 later.
So it's a lot. But to me, when we went for the COVID test to leave the country, it seemed streamlined. There were stations. There was a check-in station. There was a pay station. There was a get your information station. So there were different stations.
Not to me. Not to me. No, I'm sorry. Can I see your passport? Can I see your this? All right, next station. Can I see your passport? Can I see?
Was that for the COVID test?
COVID test too. Can I see your COVID test? And then here's the thing. How could I make it to this station not having it if they let me get to you and you want to see it again? Not only that, then you get to the next station. Let me see your COVID test. Let me see your passport. Let me see your, what was the other thing?
They didn't need to see the passenger information.
It was, okay. And then we kind of made a joke out of it. It's like, okay, should we put it away now? No, hold on to it because they're going to be
that's
asking.
Especially at the airport. You definitely need to keep your passport out because you're going to be asked about 4 times.
And clean your, look, you got to, each station you go to, you got to go ahead and sanitize your hands. I took 10 steps from one station to another, like, I got to take the, yes, please, sir. All right. 10 steps over that way. Okay, please sanitize your hands. For real? Like,
yeah.
They were serious about the COVID. So, and that made me shaky whether or not, I'm like, I got to keep an eye because I don't want to get stuck in a place that's going to create something that's going to be mandatory, you know? So that's just me though, you know? That's just me.
Braveheart wants to know if we've done our ancestry. Yes, both of us have.
Good ancestry, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm from the Bamileke tribe. In the region of where they call Cameroon, parts of Nigeria areas, the Bamileke tribe. What tribe are you from?
Fulani.
Fulani, she is, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where is Serenity? Has she gone to bed? No, she has not. Where is Serenity? Wait.
Mm-hmm. She got her earphones in.
Wait. Oh, hi.
Yeah, hi. There she is. Yep, on the phone.
I think she's listening to music.
Yep, we're going to Nigeria. Answer that already. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Shell Stewart, thank you very much for your donation. The visas. You want to talk about the visas?
Go ahead.
Kenya, if it's a single entry, you can do that at the airport. Rwanda is at the airport on arrival. Tanzania at the airport on arrival. If you need a multi-entry for Kenya, then that needs to be done ahead of time.
And the cost for visa, Tanzania's was $100 for a visa. How much was Rwanda?
I think it was $50.
$50 for Rwanda, and then how much was Kenya? I can't remember. Look, COVID tests and visas, I'm telling y'all, and you traveling with the 3 of us, so you can imagine the numbers when you talking about traveling. I mean, yeah, you're gonna pay, you know.
That's a good question. Do we have to walk around with ID? Yes, we keep our passport with us all the time because there were some places that we went that did ask to see our passport.
Oh yeah, and you should never travel, I would say, internationally without keeping your passport on you. You know, they ain't caring about your driver license and all the American, but that passport right there, it speaks. I'm telling you, and also you'll be treated a little differently too. You know, and that's what Collins was saying. You know, you showed a little American something. Sometimes, you know, okay, because you can play that game. Like, I'm American. I didn't know. You know, but yeah. Augustine Denzo, thank you for your super chat donation. Yeah, you know, I don't even want to say donation, forgiving. You don't even get hand sanitizer at customs when you get back to the States. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I have considered homeschooling Serenity. With the COVID and her doing virtual school, I think she needs the interaction. And I think when we get back in January, they're going to be back on hybrid. So 2 days of school, 3 days out of school.
All right, we're coming to the end of the questions here. Our time is about up, but yet you're going to ask any last questions?
Can you do the COVID test the day of travel leaving Rwanda? No, because it takes 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
And you need to have it. They will, as the minute we got to the airport, the guy asked, even outside of the airport, he screened us, temperature check, and asked for the COVID test. We hadn't even gone inside the airport yet. So yes, you definitely need that beforehand.
And here's the thing. in order to do the passenger form, you need your COVID test. So once you get your COVID test, they'll text you your COVID test results. You got to go onto the passenger form, put in that number and your phone number, and then they'll pull up, it'll come up with your results and everything, negative, the date and all that right there. You got to then hit print. It's going to bring up this what are these called? It's right here. These right here. It's going to bring up this right here so that when you get to the airport, you got to need a hard copy. They're going to scan it on a computer. So, yeah, you know, to me, it's like every place we're traveling, okay, we got to make sure we take a morning off to go get COVID tested, you know, then wait on the COVID test. Then we got to go ahead and do the passenger form. That was for Rwanda, passenger form, you know, but yeah.
So Kofi is saying, please tell the ladies here they can get a good husband in Rwanda. An African king, as he said.
Hey, plenty of men around there, you know. Plenty of men around there, ladies. Plenty of men around there. Did I interview anybody in that? No, I didn't. You know, because of the people are kind of like, you know, I didn't ask anybody like that. Did I interview? No, I didn't. I just got to feel a certain way to connect with people, and I didn't feel that I could have that type of conversation. Hey, it's that time. Hey, thanks a lot, hey, for your giving and all that right there. Your best money apps to use when in Tanzania and continent. Your best money apps. I don't know of any best money apps to use while we're here in Tanzania or the continent. I know Cashapp don't work. The cash money apps, I don't know. I don't use any cash money apps. My wife loves the questions. That's why she's still thumbing through. She loves comments and all that right there. So she's gonna make sure she answers everybody. So that's a good thing.
I'm trying, but my screen is jumping around.
Oh, are you planning to visit Madagascar? Or, yeah, I guess it's Madagascar. Oh, yeah. Plan on doing that. Most definitely. And I think I'm going to do that trip before my wife even comes back. I might go check that out.
That's called a Q code or a QR code. Thank you.
QR code, okay. Will you need a bank account in Ghana? Yeah, and I heard that the bank, listen, you don't need one. If you're going to be there for a duration of time, I think that you should. And the type of account you should get is a cash account. I think you get some liberties with the cash account. You're able to transfer money into it from the States if you need to, money or whatever, into that account or even out of that account, I think. But it's called a cash account, what they're calling it. Yeah.
Were there lines for the COVID test? So we arrived at the stadium in Kigali to get our COVID test to be able to leave the country. And we got there it opened at 8, and we got there at about 7:40. And we were numbers 24, 25, and 26. And like I said, it opened at 8. By 8:30, we were walking out. So.
Yeah, it was lines, yeah. But it moved.
It did move quickly.
It moved pretty quickly, yeah. They only do the throat test, too. Surprising enough, Kenya did both. The throat and nasal they did.
Yeah, they did.
Man. Yeah, they touched the back of your brain on that nasal.
Do you need a driver's license? Ooh,
well, that's a good question.
Because you rented a car.
Yeah. You need your just American driver's license in Rwanda, because I rented 2 cars both times I visited. I just rented 2 cars, and your American driver license suffice. Now, here, I'm not sure about Kenya nor Tanzania, but they drive on the opposite side of the road, and the steering wheel is on the opposite side of the car. So, I'm not sure. Mashawn said, I
tried answering your questions.
I asked 9 questions. Do we answer them? What? Are you trying to say, y'all, I asked 9 questions, y'all ain't answered one of them? Okay, so family,
Oh, what about the money? How are you changing over your money to local currency, or are you using US dollars?
changing my money over to a local currency,
Right.
or use, what do you mean, or?
How are you making transactions? How are you paying?
Well, I mean, you got to use their local currency.
But some places do take US dollars.
Oh, they want the US dollar, but you got to be careful on what the rate they're going to go ahead and take that dollar from you. I use US dollars to go to the Forex Bureau to go ahead and get the shillings. And typically you're going to find places that have a less, want different rates than others, but they're really within the same. And then I go to the ATM withdraw money straight out and use that currency of that country. So that's how I do it.
Okay, Mashan, immunization. So it depends on where you're going in Africa. Go to the CDC website and go to travel, and you can plug in exactly which countries that you're going to. But for East Africa, the only one that we needed was yellow fever. That was the only one that was mandatory.
Mm-hmm. All right, family. Hey, we appreciate each and every one of you all for chiming in. There again, hey, let me do my disclaimer for those who have come in after I had initially did the first disclaimer, that this is just a view, opinion, observation that we have wanted to share with you all on Rwanda. There again, we have not touched every area of Rwanda. We had not spoken to every person in Rwanda, and we just only had just a small taste of Rwanda. But just some of our observations, just for you, just to take consider. But the best way to know about any place is for you to go yourself.
Yes.
Because, hey, what I see and perceive something to be, you may not. And so we want to make sure that we just give y'all our experience in our travels and how we do and see, and that we're going to give it to you, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what we would see, so that, you know, there's that balance, because there's no perfect world. But Rwanda is a beautiful place.
It is. It absolutely is.
Beautiful place. The people are mild, they're quiet, for the most part, subtle, and you know, you ain't gonna have no problems out of nobody. The police are really friendly. They're not gonna be aggressive. There's a lot of police everywhere. I've spoken and carry on conversations. Kigali is a really easy city for me to get around. The way they got the roads laid out, you can probably understand the roads probably in 4 days, if that. So it's a really easy city to get around. Yes, there are a lot of African Americans who are moving to Kigali, as I'm being told through my associates and stuff. There's at least a couple of families people or families per week that are just moving in, and so there's an interest there. And I know, like, people like myself and others have brought in the interest, and it's good to see that people want to give a country a try or what have you. But me and my wife just wanted to go ahead and share that with you, and so that you can chew on and see that, hey, okay, I got a little bit more clear just from their perspective, and Rwonda's waiting on you. I believe is a great place to visit, most definitely. So with that, this is your man. This is your woman. Not your boy.
Go.
Not your girl. Go Black to Africa. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, y'all have a good night. Thank you for all those who gave financially. You gave your time, gave your shares, gave your kind words, gave your blessings, gave everything. We thank y'all. Good night.